Welcome my fellow Stein Troopers. This is the official Golden Death Guide for PvP in the Wild West. Here is an index of everything we'll get into today, with timestamps on each section. I personally recommend you watch from start to finish and go back if you need to find a specific section. The most important part of PvP is the shooting method known as shift shooting. The goal of shift shooting is to make yourself harder to hit by minimizing the time that your character is slowed while aiming down sights. This can be best explained in 3 steps. Firstly, you want to move around and make sure you always hold your right mouse button, even if you're not actively shooting. The next step is to release your sprint key and fire your gun. Lastly, release your shooting button and then start sprinting. It is important that you release the shooting button before you begin sprinting in order to avoid what's known as getting locked in. Being locked in is when your sprinting is delayed after firing your shot, which happens when you shoot and sprint at the same time. To avoid this, you should train your muscle memory to release the shoot button before you start sprinting. Another thing to note if you are learning to shift shoot is to focus on exiting the shift shoot rather than the speed of entering the shift shoot. Start off slow and build up your speed as you become more confident. A more advanced technique is the shift fanfire. This is essentially a regular shift shoot, except you are holding F to fanfire your weapon. This becomes significantly easier with custom binds. Seek part 5 for more info. Once you have learnt to shift shoot, you want to pair it with a flick of your crosshair. With this technique, you want to keep your crosshair at the left of your target. When you are ready to fire, you release your sprint key and you aim in. You will notice that the crosshair moves slightly to the right on its own. From there, you only need to move your cursor a small amount to reach the target, then you fire your gun. This method works wonders on moving targets, as you can use the minor adjustment to compensate for their movement. Consider practicing on a stationary target such as this post. This is one of the best ways to practice your aim with the flicking technique, or for warming up. An important thing to consider is the bullet velocity of your gun. The Wild West has bullet travel time, which means that there is a small delay from the bullet being fired to hitting its target. Some weapons have higher bullet velocity than others, and it is important to consider when deciding your loadout. Choosing your loadout is an important part of the game. Your loadout should fit the situation you're in, whether it be a general fight, a team battle, or a gentleman's duel. A great all-around weapon that I recommend is the Winchester rifle. This is a great choice for every situation, and is one of the most effective primary options no matter if you are a new player or a seasoned veteran. You can find this in any gun store for $8,000, a steal for how well it performs. Something to consider in your loadout is the damage thresholds of the primary and secondary weapons. If you are running a 3-hit kill weapon, like a Winchester, you may want to pair it with a 3-hit pistol, like a Savage Navy or a Lancaster. Different weapons may pair well together, such as the Lancaster and the Prototype. In this case, the Lancaster has a smaller ammo capacity and a longer reload, whereas the Prototype does not hit as hard, but has a larger ammo capacity and a faster reload. The Prototype is a great example of a weapon which may be weak on its own, but pairs well with other weapons. But on the other hand, shotguns pair well with anything, and they are great guns to use in team battles or general fights. But in a duel, you should use regular weapons to keep things fair and to help you improve at the game. Another thing you should consider in your loadout is the penetration of your weapon. Different weapons can shoot through different surfaces. Consider checking out the wiki to look at the accurate stats of the weapons you want to use. Certain weapons are more accurate than others while riding horses. Bows and muskets are the king of horseback accuracy, but other weapons such as the Lancaster, Winchester, and Army No. 2 revolver are still very accurate on horses. If your enemy is trying to attack you on a horse, or even flee on a horse, you should consider using a Giselle musket, a Hawken musket, or perhaps even a blunderbuss, in order to take out the horse swiftly, and sometimes leading to an easy kill or significant damage. If you have a Giselle, you should always keep it in your inventory and equip it when needed. Usually in PvP, you should start with your primary weapon and change to your sidearm either when you run out of ammo or become very close to your target. If you are changing to your sidearm, it can be wise to jump or dash to try and throw off your opponent's shot and prevent yourself from being an open target. Regardless of the type of fight you're in, movement is the key to success and becoming a great PvPer in the Wild West. Dodging your enemy's shots is just as important as hitting your own shots. Whether you are taking cover or out in the open, a good player is always thinking of their movement to dodge their enemy's shots. In a one-on-one fight, you should look at the type of weapon your opponent is using. If they are using a powerful single-shot weapon such as the Hartford Martini or a musket, you may want to bait out your opponent's shot before you take a shot of your own. If your opponent misses with a single-shot primary, this can leave them open for a short moment. Unpredictability is key. If your opponent knows where you're going to be when they fire their gun, they are much more likely to hit their shots. Consider using a wide movement pattern with a variety of switch-ups and small circles. Jumps and dashes should be used as a switch-up to throw off your opponent's shot or position. Try to think of the pressure you are applying to your opponent and the pressure they apply to you, and adjust accordingly. The Wild West does not natively support keybinds, but do not fret. The majority of keyboards and mice have software that you can use to change the binds yourself. Personally, I have a Logitech mouse, so I will put my gun keys, fanfire, and horse menu on my mouse. With Logitech specifically, it is better to use the onboard memory manager and create profiles, so the settings stay permanent even if your software isn't running. Do some research on your own keyboard and mouse to find which software they use so you can create your own bind setups. It is generally a good idea to have these keybinds over the default, as this lets you fanfire and change weapons without taking your fingers off your movement keys. Your sensitivity is combined from 3 values: your mouse DPI, your Roblox sensitivity, and your Wild West in-game aim sensitivity. Here is the sensitivity values that I use. This is far lower than what I recommend for anyone, even if you have a large mousepad like me. If your mouse is in the middle of your mousepad, you want to be able to comfortably do a 180-degree turn to the left or the right. The key to getting good aim is to be used to a lower sensitivity and stick with it. You will develop muscle memory and you will be able to snap onto targets. In the Wild West settings, 0.5 is currently the default aim sensitivity. You may want this setting slightly higher like me if you prefer your aiming sensitivity to feel closer to your unaimed sensitivity. If your game runs poorly and you get low FPS, stuttering, or if you just want to improve the performance of your game, you should try these settings. Set your overall quality to low, turn shadows off, and change time transitions to burst. You can also try using a program called bloxstrap. I will show you how to set it up now. Firstly, you want to make sure your Roblox is closed, and go to the bloxstrap link in the description. Make sure this is version 2.9.1. Click the exe, then click save and it will download. When it has finished, double click the file to run it. You want to choose your language and click OK, then next. Now you click install. Go to configure bloxstrap settings, then on the integrations page, turn off show game activity. Next you click bloxstrap in the bottom left corner and turn off auto update. Now, go into the engine settings and scroll down to the bottom where you will find the fast flag editor. You may be given a warning about editing the fast flags, but we know what we are doing, so we can continue. Click Add New, then Import JSON. Then in this box, you want to paste the fast flag config from the description. Select OK, and if you're given any other prompts, select Yes or OK. Now click Save in the bottom right corner, then close. Now you want to load up bloxstrap, then press Launch Roblox, and go into any Wild West server. The easiest way to check if your bloxstrap is loaded is to check the grass on the Bronze City spawn menu. If you have set up your bloxstrap incorrectly, it will look like this. This has been the Golden Death PvP tutorial. Soon we will create a new player guide where we will cover what to do as a new player, including the best ways to make money, which skills you should grind, and which things you should and shouldn't buy. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the dueling field.